The night had fallen, heavy over the red dust plains of Arizona, when the wounded cowboy, Clay Mercer, heard a faint cry near the canyon's edge. The moonlight spilled silver across the rocks as he dismounted, his boots crunching against dry soil. The sound came again, soft, broken, almost like the desert wind carrying pain. He followed it, and what he found nearly froze his breath. There, tangled in the thorns of a mesquite bush, lay an Apache woman, her dark hair streaked with blood, her wrists bruised from ropes. She looked up at him with eyes fierce and blazing like coals. When Clay reached out to help, she flinched back, her voice cutting the silence like a knife. "Don't touch me, white man," she hissed, her trembling hand clutching a knife that had no edge left. But Clay didn't back away. His voice was low and calm. "Easy, miss. You're hurt. I ain't here to harm you." The desert wind howled, carrying the scent of gunpowder and distant fire. Somewhere out there, men were still hunting her. He could see it in her fear. Against her protest, Clay gently lifted her, feeling her tense under his touch. She turned her face away, angry tears forming, cursing him in her native tongue. Yet beneath her fury, there was a faint tremor of exhaustion. The horse's hooves pounded the earth as Clay rode through the dark, cradling her fragile body that resisted every bit of his kindness. When dawn broke, they reached an abandoned shack near the river. Clay tended to her wounds in silence, his hands careful, his eyes filled with quiet respect. She refused to meet his gaze, burning with pride and humiliation. "Why did you save me?" she demanded. "Because nobody deserves to die alone in the dust," he said softly. Days passed. Her anger was like the desert sun, scorching, unrelenting, but so was his patience. Slowly, the fire in her eyes dimmed, replaced by a quiet ache. She learned his name. He learned hers, Nayola. She had been captured by outlaws who wanted to sell her. Each night, as the fire crackled between them, she'd tell her story in fragments, her voice heavy with pain. Clay listened, never interrupting, never judging. One morning, she awoke to find him outside, bleeding from a wound he'd hidden the night he rescued her. The bandages were soaked through. Guilt struck her like lightning. The same hands she had slapped away now lay still beside his gun. She touched them gently, her heart twisting. "Why did you risk your life for me?" she whispered. His voice, weak but steady, came back. "Because I couldn't ride away from someone." Crying in the dark, the words broke something inside her. As the sun rose over the canyon, Nayola's anger melted into regret. She held his hand tightly, tears falling onto his dusty skin. She realized that sometimes compassion wears a face you've been taught to hate. The cowboy she had despised had become the man she owed her life to. She tended to his wound, whispering prayers to the spirits she once called upon for vengeance. When Clay finally opened his eyes, she was there, watching him with a softness he'd never seen before. "Thank you," she said, her voice trembling. "I was wrong about you." Clay smiled faintly. "You don't owe me thanks. Just live." The wind outside carried their silence into the horizon, and for the first time, two souls divided by blood and history shared a moment of peace. As the fire flickered low and the morning light touched their faces, Nayola realized the truth. Sometimes fate brings two hearts together through pain, only to heal what the world broke apart. And as the screen fades, remember, stories like these live on in hearts that believe in humanity, forgiveness, and second chances. So if this story touched your heart, don't forget to subscribe to Frontier Legends, where every tale rides through dust, pain, and redemption to remind us that love can rise even from the ashes of hate.